There are three types of men in this world that you should never be, and most people, if not everybody, does not trust, whether they say they do or not. Innately, biologically, they do not trust these men, right? So the first man that nobody trusts is the man that does not stay by his word. His word is not bond. I learned this at a very young age. My father taught me this. My father taught me everything that you say, you have to do, no matter what it is. If it comes out of your mouth, if you make a promise, you deliver on that promise. A lot of men like to say and declare a lot of things, and then they get to a point where they don't do it, and you lose trust in that person. You lose the trust of the populace because what you said was not what you did. So everything that you say beyond that point becomes null and void because nobody cares about what you have to say anymore. Your words are not powerful. Your words only hold weight when you actually commit to doing the things that you say you're going to do. You say you're going to get in shape in 2025. You better get in shape in 2025. You say that you're going to make a certain amount of money in 2025. You better make that type of money in 2025. You say that you're going to make any transformation in your life, or you say that you're going to do anything for anybody. You make sure that you do that thing, because the minute that you don't do it is the minute that, one, you lose self-respect and you lose the respect of other people. And nobody trusts that type of man. The man whose words literally mean absolutely nothing, good luck in life. Because life, especially when it comes to business, when it comes to dealing with other people, it is all about trust. Trust is everything. Everything that you say can and will be used against you if necessary. So this is one man that nobody will ever trust, and you should never trust a man that tells you all of these nice things, tells you all the shit that you want to hear, and never fulfills on the stuff that you actually heard him say. Because he will disappoint you, and he will disappoint you in other areas of life. Right? The second man that nobody ever trusts, and you should never be, is the man that does not train. The man that does not train in the gym or whatever modality that you choose for training, whether it be Olympic lifting, whether it be fighting, whether it be any physical activity. A man that does not perform physical activity on a regular basis should never be trusted and is never trusted. Because here's the reality of training and fitness, and I've said this before, it signals discipline. And discipline makes the man. A man's level of discipline makes himself as a man as high up in the social status as possible. The most disciplined man is the most respected man. If you have people in your circle that aren't training, that are lazy, that are just fat slobs sitting, fat sacks of oatmeal sitting down on the couch, remove them. Either get them to get in the gym, inspire them by your actions, or remove them. If you are that man, you will be removed from a lot of social circles. People will not trust you in business. People will not trust you in life because you don't have any signs that you're disciplined. Now, I know what the haters are going to say. Oh, Martell, it doesn't even, there's the fat guy right there that's super successful. You have to understand, one, that's very rare. And two, there used to be a point in time where when you were fat, when you had a lot of weight, you were a gordo, right? It's my weird little Spanish mix. When you were a fat guy, you literally were seen as rich, successful. You were seen as you had abundance, right? That was before. All of the men, the powerful men who were fat, they have a life force that surpasses how fat they are. In this day and age, with all of the chemicals that we have, with all of the conditioning that we're getting in the media, you have social media, you have all kinds of things, everything. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot model those types of people. You cannot cope by saying that it was like that before. We live in the modern time. As a man, you have to be in peak physical condition. You have to be jacked. What does jacked mean? Under 15% body fat, having some good muscle definition, having a proper V line, looking the part. You need to be able to have that, because the men who don't have that, they're not as trusted, right? Because you don't go to the gym when everyone else is saying they're going to the gym in the morning or at night, whenever they say it. And you're the one that's saying, oh, well, I'm just going to go play video games and chill. That already signals in someone's brain that you're not worth taking seriously, that you should never be respected, right? People in business, they always talk about their routines. They always talk about what they do. Everyone's always proud to say that they go to the gym. Everyone's always proud to say that. And they're always proud that other people are acknowledging that their physique is changing when they're on their fitness journey. So it's important for you as a man to get in the gym, get a routine, dial in on your discipline with food, because when you're fat, it signals that you can't control your mouth. So if you can't control your mouth, you can't control any other scenario that you have responsibility in. So it makes zero sense to not go to the gym and at least start to train and at least start to get in the best physical shape as possible, because people will respect that. People will see you in a different light. You will start to gain a lot more trust in the populace and the people around you, right? And again, if you need help with that, I have a free, literally a free high status physique manifesto. Link is in the description. Download that and actually go through that process. It is idiot proof. You will get in the best shape of your life if you follow that. It highlights training, nutrition, lifestyle. I just want to get as many men in shape as possible because it's changed my life. And I know it will change yours, right? So you have to make sure that you get in shape. It's literally the only thing that you don't have to put in that much money. You can get a coach. It'll accelerate the process, or you can just do it on your own. It may take a little bit. It may take a few years because you have to figure some things out because there's so much information out there, but you got to get it done. It's 2025. You got to get it done, right? So that's the second man. The third man. Now this has to be one of the worst. The over emotional man. If you have any men who are overly emotional in your circle, or if you happen to be a woman watching this video, all of the men that you're going to dislike in the long run are going to be overly emotional men. And the reason why overly emotional men should never be trusted is because they have a feminine trait where everything sways on their emotion. So they can't stick by their word, and they don't have the discipline to be in the gym. So they already lost out on those two. That's why I left this for the third. The man who's hyper emotional, like, it doesn't matter if he's extremely angry, he's going to start to portray that anger towards you. He will try to physically or mentally or spiritually harm you because he cannot control his emotions. He has no discipline. That's why the man who's over emotional, you need to have an eye on that. If that's a man that's around you, keep an eye on him because he's not to be trusted. Overly emotional men tend to lie a lot as well. Overly emotional men tend to sell you out. When there's danger, let's say you're moving around and there's danger, he's going to be the guy who's super scared, who has a lot of fear. He's going to be the guy that's going to sell you out, that's going to run and not support you if you get into any type of confrontation, because he's overly emotional. Now you may argue, well, if he's overly emotional, he could be overly angry and then he'll go help me with that. Maybe, but the reality is, especially in modern day, overly emotional men, all they do is they hold you back. They hold you back because they make you start to marry your emotions. Because again, whoever you're around, you're going to start to pull their habits and you're going to start to pull their traits. So these types of men, they literally are catastrophic for a men's friend group, period. Men who are overly emotional, they tend to be broke. They tend to be out of shape, and they tend to literally always sabotage relationships, always. Because they cannot control the one thing that is the most important, which is your emotions. You cannot regulate your emotions. You need to start. If you're that man right now, one, most people probably don't trust you. They probably won't hold their greatest, they probably won't give you their greatest secrets to hold for yourself. Because again, you're overly emotional. You might get excited about this one thing and go ahead and tell their secrets to somebody else. You cannot be that man. You have to start controlling your emotions. You have to start being in tune with how your emotions are moving on a regular basis and make the change and make sure that you are not that man. Because I'm telling you, that is going to be the end of everything in your life. Your business, if you have you cannot have a business if you're overly emotional. That's the one thing I learned. The one thing I learned going through business, ups and downs, everything like that, the more emotional you get, the worse your business is. Because in entrepreneurship, you have to detach your emotions from the actions that you take. There are a lot of things that are going to be boring. There are a lot of interactions that you're going to have with potential customers that will anger you. But the more that you feed those emotions, the more that you can't divorce yourself from those emotions, the more that you're going to start seeing shittier results. It's the same when you're in a relationship or if you're talking to a woman. If you are more emotional, which unfortunately a lot of men in society right now are more emotional than women. And tell me how that makes sense. A lot of men are more overly emotional than women. So what happens? You start to exhibit her traits. And then you get put in the friend zone because now you're a friend. You're a friend. You're just like her. There's no masculine essence to you whatsoever. You have no aura. You have nothing. You're just an overly emotional woman in a man's body, right? And it shows with your physique too. It shows. You don't go to the gym because you don't feel like it that day. Or you don't eat the foods that you need to eat. You go and eat junk food because you feel like eating it that day. Those types of men, waste men. These are the 3 types of men that will be waste men, 2025 and beyond, if they already haven't been. So avoid being that type of, use this video to motivate yourself to be the best version of yourself possible. And to make sure that the people who are around you are at least not one of these 3 people. Because if they are, I promise you, they'll snake you. I promise you, they'll pull you back from your goals. I promise you, your life will get worse the more that you're around those people. So internalize this, take this, run with it, become the best version of yourself, especially in this 2025 time. We're in a golden age right now. The vibe has shifted. The vibe has completely shifted. It is time for you to start winning. And I'm telling you right now, staying away from these 3 types of men and also making sure that you're not one of these 3 types of men will allow for you to succeed in this golden age of 2025. All right. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next video.